Hi guys, welcome back to HarryMakesItUp. Today I wanted to do something that was all about the drugstore makeup. So I've got a couple of my kind of favourite picks as well as some old favourites as well. And we're just going to do a really nice, easy to do spring summer makeup look. So the first thing I'm going to start with is my Bourjois Healthy Mix Foundation. I've had a rekindled love of this recently. I'm starting to get a tiny bit more colour on my skin, so I can actually kind of go a little bit warmer now. I'm using shade 52 and I'm using a Sigma flat top kabuki, and I'm just going to start buffing that on. So cute comedy faces. So I've got some exciting things coming up for you guys actually. I have some new little series I'm doing with the lovely Hannah Janes. We are doing our like an extra video a week, which is going to be really exciting. One a week on each channel. So 1 week with my channel, 1 week with hers. And we're doing our summer survival guide and tips with lots of little videos. So yeah, keep an eye out for that. So definitely make sure you subscribe guys as well, because then you will always get the videos straight away in your feed. So it will let you know when the videos are through. So make sure you're subscribed. And I can't wait for you guys to see that one. So for my eyebrows, I'm going to use one of these little L'Oreal brow kits. This is the Brow Artist Genius Kit. Genius Kit, yeah. And it comes with some little tiny tweezers, probably not the sharpest tweezers. And I'm using the colour, I think this is light or light to medium. So I'm going to use a little brush it comes with. So there's like a powder and a wax type product. Oh no, I've got a fly. Yeah. And I'm just going to fill my brows in a little bit. You know the drill, guys. I have quite invisible brows on the outer corner. So this is quite a kind of neutral powder. And I'm just going to use this to kind of fill in a little bit. And I'm just following the curve a little bit on the outer corner. And what is quite good though, it does have a little spoolie on this, so you can kind of brush your hairs into shape as well, which I quite like. So brows on, I'm looking slightly more awake now. And now I'm going to move on to the Tanya Burr palette. This one is the Hollywood Eye Palette. It's very, very pretty actually. I think the eyeshadow quality of these is really, really good. And I'm just going to take a mix of the neutral shades just as a base all over my eye. I'm going to use Real Techniques Bold Metals brush. And I'm just going to apply that all over the lid. Just so it kind of adds a little bit of brightness to the lid. So then I'm going to a very old favourite I kind of forgotten about because my Kiko eyeliner has been replacing this a lot recently. But I wanted to go to a nice black liner, and I'm going to use the Rimmel Exaggerate eyeliner, which is the waterproof one. Obviously it's spring summer, you want to make sure that it's going to last. Now this is quite a watery one, so you can I'm going to use it from the brush it comes with, but you could easily just put a bit on the back of your hand and then do it with a separate brush if you find that easier. So I'm going to keep it quite near the lash line, and I'm going to start from about 3/4 of the way, and I'm just going to start to pull outwards a little bit, and then I'm just joining up and just kind of playing with the shape really till I get it where I want it. So once I've got the shape, then I go along and fill it in. And just pushing it into the roots. So I'm going to take the Max Factor pencil. This is the Liquid Effect pencil in BlackFire, and I'm just going to take that into my top waterline just so there's no kind of skin showing, and then the liner will look really thick. So I'm just giving my lashes a very good curl. And then using a Mascara brush, I'm just going to take a little bit of the kind of coppery tone, and I'm just going to use a little bit of that in the outer part of my lower lash line, just to give it a little bit of natural shadow from the same Tanya Burr palette. And then I'm going to apply quite a bit of mascara. The mascara I always go back to at the minute when it comes to Drugstore is the 17 Falsifeye HD mascara. I think it's got really, really nice kind of plastic comb. And I'm just going to add a lot of length to my lashes and kind of separate them. And then I'm just going to add a little bit to the bottom lashes as well, just for a little bit of soft definition. So the concealer I'm going to use today, I've got a couple I've been enjoying Drugstore wise. I've really been enjoying the Lasting Finish Rimmel concealer. It's quite a good dupe for the Estee Lauder Stay in Place full cover. Only problem is I'm a little bit too dark now for the shade, so I'm not going to use this one today. I'm actually going to go back to an old one that I used to love and see if I still love it the same. It's the Collection Lasting Perfection Concealer. However, I'm going to use it with one of the new things that's been very exciting in my life, and that is the Be at Superdrug version of, well, it's called, I think, just Makeup Sponge, but it's obviously the identical colour and shape to the Beauty Blender, but for a much cheaper price. So I'm going to take some of this concealer, and I find the collection concealer is quite thick. It's quite heavy concealer. So using a damp Superdrug's own version of Makeup Sponge, I'm just going to use that to tap it into place. So I'm using a Drugstore tool as well. And I've got to say, guys, I think this was like $4.99. It's latex free, it's cruelty free brand. So lots of plus points there for this. And it's definitely, like I said, if I put my Beauty Blender next to it now, I'm not really sure which one's which. So I have to keep them both in separate bowls so I remember for the purpose of testing. And I'm just adding a tiny bit more where there's any redness. And just using the rounder side just to kind of tap it into place. So my verdict in on that concealer, I feel like I need to see by the end of the video still how it looks, but it does have the coverage still that I remember really loving for such a good valued price concealer. Obviously the main downfall is the shades it come in, so there's not the largest amount of shades. That's definitely fair to say. Now, because I'm going for quite a kind of corally dewy look, I'm actually going to use cream products for the rest of the makeup. So I'm going to take a bit of the Barry M, these are the Make Me Blush sticks, and this is in the shade Peach Melba. So I've definitely used one of these before, I just can't remember which shade. And I'm just going to pop it onto my cheekbone, kind of where I would with a powder, and then I'm going to use my Beauty Blender, not Beauty Blender, I'm going to use my Superdrug Bee Sponge and just kind of tap that into place. So I'm using the rounder side now and just tapping it, and then I can build it up the more I kind of want the coverage. So let's do the other side. And it's really kind of just blending the edges is nice with this. It's very foolproof. And then a new product that I've discovered that I'm really enjoying actually is by Collection also. And this is their Speedy highlighter. So it's that kind of like chubby stick wind up crayon. And this is actually really nice. It's not too glittery. It's more of a kind of sheen. And I think for the price, again, this is really good. So I'm going to take that on the tops of the cheekbones. And I'm going to use my Beauty Blender again, just to make sure that's kind of got no edges on it. But you can see it's a really, really beautiful sheen. It's not kind of sparkly or glittery. And I'm going to do a little bit kind of down the middle of the bridge of my nose, and again just buff that in with the sponge just to give a bit of sheen. And then I'm going to go back to that stick. I'm going to take another Bold Metals brush by Real Techniques, and I'm just going to pop some of that onto the inside corner of my eyes just to kind of give a nice pop of highlight on the inside. This works really nicely as like an eye highlight as well. Just on the inner corner, just kind of blending it upwards a little bit. So for lips, I've got a new favourite, which isn't a liquid lipstick as much as I love those. It's actually one by Max Factor. It's their LipFinity one. The shade is called Ever Sumptuous, and it looks a little something like this. But I just think this is such a nice kind of spring summer coral. And I'm going to show you kind of two ways you can wear it. So the first way is making like a really nice summer stain. So just start with, and it literally tastes like Chewits. I'm just going to start working it over my lip. And then what I like to do is take my finger and just really push it into the lip. And then you want to take a tissue, and then I'm just going to kind of lay the tissue over the top so it removes the top layer. So hopefully you can see that just leaves a really nice muted stain. It's very kind of not quite matte, there's still a little bit of coverage, but it just gives a nice hit of colour without being like too full on. So that's a really nice way to wear it, but again, obviously you can amp it up as well. So if you want to amp the look up, just take a lip brush and just go in adding more pigment. And I'm just going ever so slightly over the lip line. And then to finish, I'm just going to take a tiny bit of powder. I'm going to use the Bourjois Healthy Balance powder. And I'm going to use, what am I going to use? A Bobbi Brown powder brush. I'm just going to tap a tiny bit of that into kind of the centre of my forehead and a little bit on my chin and just kind of either side of my nose, so the sheen stays everywhere else but it's just knocked back ever so slightly there. And that is pretty much the finished look, guys. So 2 ways to wear it. You can sheer a coral lip down or you can go full pigment, and I just think it's kind of the ultimate summer look. So don't forget to subscribe and keep an eye out for the videos I'm doing with Hannah Janes as well, and can't wait to see you soon for more videos. Thanks so much, guys. Bye.